Welcome back, everybody, to our online isolation podcast. We are here with the winner of season two, the comeback queen, Shelby. How have you been?
I've been great, been relishing in my victory. Yeah, good. Feels good.
Great. Well, congrats. Well deserved. Very well deserved.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It feels really good because I didn't expect it. So it's an even more exciting feeling.
I want to go back to the beginning of the game, back when you were one of the first people in the void.
Yes.
Why did you think that was at the beginning of the game?
I was personally offended. I thought, wow, I'm the person that gets out the very first game. I must really be hated. But I think it was because it was the beginning and not everybody had a lot to go off of. Some people hadn't even met me. So that, and the void was pretty welcoming and nice and chill for the time being. So it wasn't the worst thing.
I like that you talked about how you didn't want to not be nice because the only other option was to be mean.
Yeah.
And you kept being nice and developing relationships. And you were like the only person who really developed something with Manu. And I think that helped you in the end.
Yeah, and Deleon as well. I think I appealed to the right people to stay in the game. So that was a good method. I'm glad I didn't choose being mean.
Word. I think one of my favorite parts in the show in entirety was the first time Mono goes into the void and y'all are going back and forth and you're like, Mono, you're funny. And he's like, me? I'm funny? Me?
No, he was hilarious.
I thought that was so great.
Hilarious.
But yeah, you were like the first person who really was able to build a relationship and kind of bring him out of his shell. So
yeah,
great. You were pretty good with everybody.
People had very negative things to say about him, but when I was in my first group with him, I was like, this man is the funniest person on here. I enjoy him.
Yeah, that's how Dee Dee felt too. She was also a fan.
I love him.
I wasn't. He had to grow on me. But I have a question. So how did it feel? Because I know you and Deleon and Alexia were super tight throughout the entirety of the game. How did it feel seeing Deleon backstage and just seeing all the shenanigans he was up to?
Yeah, I think I was a little scared of him in the beginning because of all of the things he had to say about people. So I wasn't surprised that maybe I wasn't his biggest fan all the time, but I was happy that I had the relationship that I did with him and Alexis to keep me forward down the path. Yeah. He was an interesting character.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was definitely the power group for you. So you chose the right alliance for sure.
Definitely.
What about on that same end? What about Elizabeth, knowing that she played a game before too? Which you found out?
Oh, that was I had no idea. I mean, I figured she was playing like both sides. She was really close with Hannah and Sasha, while also being. I didn't know she was as close with Deleon. I didn't know they had that together in common. So that was super surprising watching it and hearing that. Whenever we found out that they had come back from season one, it made sense because she had stayed in the game for as long as I did. And I think if Deleon didn't like her or didn't have that experience with her in the first season, I don't think he would have kept her in the game for that long. So it makes sense why her connection with Deleon and how it brought her to the game in the end.
I do want to say first that the top three were all very close in rankings in the end.
Oh, really?
Deleon was a distant fourth place. Poor Deleon was a distant fourth place.
Dee face,
but Shelby, Alexia, and then Elizabeth were all very close.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I was like, I know I was rooting for Alexia, so I'm glad she was second place, and I'm glad she was really up close because she would have made an excellent winner too. And Elizabeth and Deleon, they all played their game very well.
Yeah, Deleon definitely had the three people with him in the end that he wanted. You know, the group that he was gunning for, he was able to keep that core group all the way to the end. So that was really cool to see.
And they were fighting for that. They did not want the alliance in the end.
Yeah, seriously.
Did it anyway.
In the moment of the game, did you, because as a viewer, it kind of felt like Deleon was kind of running the show a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel like that while you were playing the game?
While I was playing, in the beginning, I didn't know Deleon. It was just a name. I heard of this person. And then when I met him, I was like, he has a really big personality. I need to be friends with him. So yeah, in the game he did put himself like that, and also everybody was talking about him, so he
Right.
kind of was the main character for
Right.
in the beginning. So yeah, I definitely saw that while playing.
For sure.
What about Chris? Because I feel like
Chris.
your relationship with Chris was always kind of.
Yeah,
I don't feel like you
it's
ever fully
honestly-
trusted him, but
I didn't, but then I was watching it and I didn't know how much he was actually rooting for me. So I feel bad for not like having that same energy for him. He was pretty trustworthy he did stick to his alliance since the beginning. So he honestly was one of the most trustworthy persons. You just had to be someone he trusted. So yeah, I appreciate Chris and the way he played the game and him in his rooting for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. He was being kind of shisty. You know, he was saying some
Yeah,
things that made you
pretty-
not
he
really
was
trust him too
plotting.
much.
He was
Yeah.
plotting. Same with Alex. I didn't know how much he was plotting, but he was also plotting.
Yeah, leads me to my next question. I mean, you were pretty much the reason he got back in the game in the first place. You really advocated for him. So
Mhm.
how did it feel when you saw him pretty much vote against you to go to the final?
I mean, it didn't even make sense. I think Aaron said that his logic actually didn't make any sense. I thought it was kind of a snake move, but like to each their own. I really don't understand his logic in that. Like I thought we were together on it, to the void to now, but I guess not.
I thought so too. He shocked me with that. I thought you
Yeah.
had that vote in the bag.
I did too.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be a tie, but it was.
Yeah,
I feel like it
man,
was,
that
an ego thing from Alex.
It was.
For some reason.
That was a crab move.
Yeah, he was like, anybody that came back from the void since I came back, they need to come back too. And I didn't really understand.
Did Alex have loyalty to anybody really in the game?
I think he was playing his own game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what was in his head.
He's just a different breed. He was
He is
different,
a different
thinking
breed.
different.
He's built different. He's built different.
Word. Do you have any thoughts about Kia as well? Like, you don't seem like y'all were very close. Carrie Chikio.
Chiquio.
And
yeah.
her not getting your vote, even though she didn't really seem to care that much.
No, she said she didn't care, but she also would not vote me. So
Right.
I don't. And I
Yeah.
think she said I was a rat as well, or something, because of something she caught me saying or something. I don't
Interesting.
remember, but I don't think we had that tight of a relationship. No, I don't think she was an easy person to have a tight relationship with either. So
Yeah,
can't give a good impression on them all, unfortunately.
that's true. That's true.
I missed that. Like, I don't know.
I don't think I made the episode. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just remember that moment in the show.
Shelby remembers though. It
I
wasn't on the
do.
episode,
I
but
always
I know what she said.
I do.
So I will say Nick really fooled us, because early in the game when you were chilling in the void and we were like, yeah, Shelby's doing such a great job and she's building so many relationships, but like, how is she going to get out of the void? And Nick was like, yeah, I don't know if she's going to be able to make a large enough move to get out, even though he knew that you were going to get out. So that was shitty of you for that, Nick. But
That's why I
just-
don't
hate
listen to Nick when he
spoilers.
talks.
yeah,
You didn't know this by now.
Seriously, turned in a whole different direction. But just watching back, what do you think was the single most important move that you made in this game that caused you to win?
Honestly, it was being on good terms with DeLeon in Alexis. Consequently, I didn't like try that hard. It just ended up happening, and when it did, I stuck as much as I could to it. I tried not to upset him at all, not say anything bad about him. Like I just knew I had to have DeLeon like me. Then that honestly carried me towards the end of the game. If he had bad feelings towards me, I don't think I would have made it as far as like, because he was very impressionable on people.
All of his enemies were eliminated for sure.
Exactly.
He did it.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you were starting to get news that DeLeon was lying, like you started to hear that multiple times in different conversations, what was going through your head? Like, were you believing it, or did you just kind of have to block it away so that you could stick with your alliance?
I noted it. I took a good note of it, and I genuinely didn't know what to do with the information. I know I talked to Alexis about it because she was pretty Alexia about it because she was really trustworthy, and she had heard it too, and also like didn't know what to do about it. So we brought it to his attention. We were kind of like his little I don't want to say minions, but like that's kind of how I operated. I was like, this is what I heard about you. I didn't say anything. Like, please don't be mad at me. Like that was my
Word. We
Like-
called y'all his soldiers.
Yeah.
yeah, we were
Y'all were going to battle for this dude for real.
Everything he said,
willing
y'all ate up.
things.
Well, it worked.
I have a question for Didi and Dot because last week we were talking about what you guys were talking about, that they needed to cut Shelby.
Yes.
Shelby was going to win.
Right, yeah.
You
Were you
see what
surprised
happened?
that DeLeon didn't do that? Or was DeLeon just wanted his people at the end? He didn't want Sasha to win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah,
wanted
he
his
probably
people.
just didn't want Sasha to win.
Those are my thoughts. Yeah, he felt fine having his final crew in there. I think if he wanted a chance to win, he needed to turn on Shelby and Alexia, because even the
Just
votes at the end
Shelby.
show that they were the favorites. They were the top two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he was fine with his group in there. He didn't really seem to be fighting to get the last vote with the Void. Like he was more like arguing with them a little bit, trying to make his point, but it wasn't like, hey, y'all vote for me. I deserve to win this game. I think he was fine being in the final with whoever won, you know?
Mhm,
That's how it felt.
I agree.
Yeah.
What about Alexia? Did you think she was just too nice to everybody? Is that why she didn't get do enough to win the final?
She was too
I-
nice.
Yeah, but I mean that was also my strategy too. So I don't know what we did differently. We were the top 2 voted people, so niceness works. Just maybe it just depends on whose people prefer.
I
It
think
was
the
because she didn't get that much time in the Void. They didn't really know her like that.
right. I think
That's
that was the main difference, is that you had to go through the mud, you know, like you were sitting in the
You
void
go.
for days and days and days and making all these friendships and relationships, while Alexia was sitting at the top for a lot of the game with a lot of the same people. And I don't know, like I think it was really cool how neither of y'all really had to talk too much strategy. It was really just literally the relationships that you made that
Mhm.
got you your votes. But yeah,
Very
that,
true,
that
very
was good.
true.
Yeah, I mean, you made those relationships with the right people, like the Manu, JJ, Chris. You had those votes locked, and I would have thought Alex too, but who knows?
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
Manu was the key, honestly. Shelby's was the only person with the relationship with Manu.
Right.
So.
He wasn't going to send his vote anywhere else. So and yeah, and I feel like Alexia didn't really get the chance to make relationships with like JJ and Manu,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Other people who were sitting in the void for a long time.
benefits from starting from the bottom. You make
Hey,
friends
man.
with
Yep.
people at the bottom.
Yep.
Not
back
everybody
you
could
up.
pull that off though, because I don't feel like I watch a lot of Survivor, Big Brother. I've never seen anybody start at the bottom and just go all the way to the top.
Like
so
Void bottom or like regular bottom?
just
Oh.
bottom.
Yeah. Days said you made history.
Wow, feels special.
Hats off to you. Did you, being in that final 4, did you expect the win? Like, were you like, man, I've got the void. Most likely I'm gonna get this win. Did you feel like it was in the bag?
In the final 4, not at all. I didn't expect to win. I didn't even think I was gonna get like second place. Like
Interesting.
I really didn't know. I was like, yeah, I'm nice, but is that enough? Like, are people really rooting for me to win? Like, do they want people with bigger, more intricate personalities? So I really didn't expect just to win by being nice to people and listening to people and building relationships. I didn't think that was gonna get me there. I really didn't.
Do you think the tie vote is what threw you off?
The what bone?
The tie vote between you and Elizabeth?
Yeah, that did throw me off too, because I'm like, it's not like I would not win by a landslide. I don't have a strong presence in a lot of people's ratings or who they prefer.
Yeah, that's yeah, it definitely would have shook me too. And I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, you know, if Elizabeth wouldn't have been in the final and it was just the final 3, I'm wondering if that would have possibly changed the results. You know, if Elizabeth's votes would have been split up amongst you guys, like who would have gotten them? Like who knows
I don't
what
know.
happened?
I wonder who Elizabeth would vote for, because I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe DeLeon, since they had their
Right,
season 1 alliance. So
right. And she took some votes from people, maybe from you, but maybe from Alexia. You know, who knows?
yeah.
True.
I mean, if you were outside of that and it was those top 3 without you, who would you vote for?
Definitely Alexia.
Alexia?
Definitely. We still message each other on Instagram. We're still tight. We had a similar way to go about things, and I think we liked each other's energy. So I would have definitely voted for Alexia. She's most similar to me.
Yeah, you got a lot of the same results too, except for the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
worked out well.
Didi, I know you had a personal question a few podcasts ago. I don't know if you want to.
Oh, what do you use on your face?
Girl, we
what,
need to
what
know.
moisturizer?
We need to know.
Water.
Just drink water?
Get out of here.
Oh, wow.
Water. Plain water. I always
Okay.
get asked that question. What's your skincare routine?
Girl, I should have known. I should have known.
It works,
No
though. It
chemicals.
works.
No
The
chemicals.
natural moisturizer.
Of course. Let's see.
Well, my next question for Dot and Didi, because you got to see the big reveal. You were wondering if it was going to be revealed, if D'La and Elizabeth would tell them that they were in season 1. Any thoughts on the big reveal?
I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah, seeing y'all's faces was so nuts. I think they did such a great job of
funny.
playing it off. I didn't know if they were going to say, and I'm curious, did they reveal it after the vote or beforehand? After the vote?
After.
Yeah, smart choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shelby, you looked shocked for sure.
I knew there was something going on. I was like, the word liar is being thrown out so many times. Somebody has to be lying. And it was that. And that was really shocking.
Yeah.
Shelby, why do you think Kia never said anything about spying on them?
I don't know what her goal was in not telling anybody. I'm just like, that would have been pretty valuable information that people would have appreciated. But she just kept it to herself, minded her business. Interesting
Do you think she
choice.
was just upset that she was in the void? Because that's what it seemed like when she went to the void.
That does make sense. But I mean, even then, like, you could stir the pot from the void. I don't know. That's what I would do. But she was a very, very silent player sometimes.
Yeah, she was mentally checked out after the void. She just did not care. I was so bad. I was like yelling at the screen when she wouldn't vote for you. I was like, Kia, just change your vote. You don't
She
even care.
said she don't care.
Even care.
You said you don't care. Flip
At
a
one point,
coin.
she
You
did
do
change her
I
vote.
care, but also I
But
care.
she changed it right back.
I know.
Jesus, Kia. Oh man, yeah, her and Alex, man, they were just doing their own thing.
Exactly.
Hey, man, you gotta have players like that. Yeah, facts. Facts.
Going back and watching the other side, like I guess Hannah and Sasha and Ella, did you have any thoughts on them? Because I feel like you guys thought they were a lot more. Well, they were definitely voting each other high, but they were not as like allianced up as you guys were.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about their relationship and how it really affected me. I know I wasn't on their alliance, but I don't know if their alliance was as strong as me, Alexia's, and DeLeon's. And I know Elizabeth was kind of playing both sides with being on their side and DeLeon's side. So I'm not sure how strong that alliance was in the end, and if it really benefited them.
Yeah, it probably didn't because they weren't as organized thanks to Chris, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Who would you say? Because you did seem to get along with most players in the game. You didn't really seem to dislike that other side of the game very much. So which players did you feel like you wouldn't be able to play the game with or like ally with?
Interesting question. Probably Karashikio. I think she was the hardest to connect with.
Yeah.
I remember trying to start conversations with her and not really getting much out of it. So probably Karashikio. It was difficult for me to be liked by her.
Yeah.
You could have talked about a zodiac sign. She would have ate that up.
True.
Apparently, you're such a Libra.
You are. I tried to tell Didi. He doesn't like to listen to me. But...
I am by definition. That's how I know astrology exists, because I'm a Libra and it makes perfect sense.
I agree.
Word. Libra's on top today.
Yes. Libras win. Go air signs.
So what are you up to now? Like, what have you been up to since the show aired? Like real life stuff. What's been going on?
Real life stuff. I'm doing school, getting ready to go out for LA this summer, trying to find an internship there. I've been modeling a bit, just doing things here and there. I have very strange and peculiar interests, so doing them all at once, basically, trying to get my 20s together in a pandemic.
Now's the time. Wait, what school do you go to again?
I go to the University of Texas at
Yes,
Austin.
sir. Yes,
What
sir.
starts here changes the world.
Texas.
Of
Texas. Let's go.
Oh man, these Texas people on these shows.
Of course, though, you know,
If
we always
you
wrap
grew up
up.
from Texas, you would understand. You would understand.
I guess so, because
Texas
it's
on
always the
top.
Texas people.
Yes.
The Texas players always have Texas pride all the time.
Yeah.
Be extra for no reason.
And then you guys get one snow, and it's like the end of the world.
It was the end of the
Facts.
world.
It was. Yo, it was awful.
It
Oh,
was.
yeah.
No one knows how to handle that here.
I had to evacuate.
Sorry,
It was too much. So are we gonna play the game where she has to describe
Oh.
everybody with one word?
Whew.
That's like my favorite game on
First
here.
word that comes to mind.
Mhm. No matter what it
I have
is.
to try and remember everybody.
Oh,
No
Lord.
filter. Don't forget Ella, Nick.
Start with Ella so you don't forget.
All right, we'll start with JJ.
One word to describe JJ? I would say comical. He was very comical. He had a lot of comic relief in that. It would sometimes be some tension, some awkward silences, and JJ would be there to end that with his comic relief. And I liked that about him. He was not serious at all. Which it was nice. It was refreshing. A lot of people were very intense, so I liked that about him.
Nice.
What about Alex?
Alex, strange, but not in a bad way. Just in a I don't understand way. I genuinely just don't understand.
How can you not vote for this? Bro, come on. Come
Oh, my
on.
gosh.
How about Hannah?
Hannah. Hannah, I would say, I want to say bubbly, but not, I don't know, not like an airhead type, but like maybe just a blonde. She's a blonde. She is a blonde in a good way.
Word.
Didi, why are you making a face?
Huh? She said bubbly. I'm like, bubbly.
I didn't know the word for it, but blonde is the best way I can describe it.
She's pretty eccentric.
She is. She has a lot of personality. She kept it interesting. I love watching her confession videos. They're the funniest to me.
How about Sasha?
Sasha was she wasn't like, I thought Sasha was a good player. I think she did what she had to do. She was never mean. I'm trying to think of a word to describe that. I guess she was reasonable. Sasha was reasonable.
Short-lived, but how about Armani?
Oh my God, Armani. I'm gonna have to think about this one. I forgot. We had a good relationship, I think, in the beginning. I think we liked each other. I would say she was just nice. She was nice.
How about Manu?
Manu, hilarious. Hilarious.
How about Elizabeth?
Elizabeth was fun. She was fun.
How about Erin?
Erin was very reserved, and I think she was smart. I would say overall she was wise. I think what she had to say was important.
Yeah, I do think Erin was underrated player.
She was very underrated.
Yeah,
she could have
agreed.
won, I think. I think she could have won.
I thought she was.
Agreed.
going to.
How about Chris?
Chris, surprising. Chris is surprising.
Because he had your back.
He did. He surprisingly had my back.
Off-putting is my word.
Conceited is mine.
Chris pissed so many people off.
He did.
My goodness.
How about Kia?
Kier Shikio. Cold.
Yikes.
Oh.
She's a Capricorn. See, Didi, I'm
Oh
telling
my
you,
God.
it's
Women are
astrology.
pretty cold.
There's no chance. She had no chance of friendship.
No.
How about Alexia?
Alexia, I would kind-hearted.
And how about DeLeon?
DeLeon, problematic, but in a good way. In a fun, exciting, keep things interesting way.
He'd be happy to hear that.
Yeah,
I think he would see that as a compliment.
you would.
Did I miss anybody, Didi?
Ella.
Hey, you missed Ella.
Ella. Non-existent,
Yeah, pretty much.
irrelevant.
Oh no.
I would agree.
Damn. Yeah, she ain't want to play.
Oh man.
Well, any final questions for Shelby?
No, that's it. Congrats to the good guy. You know, it's
Congrats.
a lot of time the winner of this game is like the most devious or the most manipulating, you know. Like a lot of times I get the W.
Excuse me?
Yeah, sometimes. No, I'm not talking about you, Didi. I'm just
Oh,
in
okay.
competition games in
I
general.
think he's talking about Alex.
My
From the
goodness,
other
yeah.
game.
Oh,
Much love to Alex too on Spotify. But yeah, it's good. It's good to see someone be so honest and loyal to their team, and that team get to the final, and then like the most honest person is the one that wins. It doesn't always happen, so
It
it's good,
doesn't.
good to see.
I'm so glad to be here, and I'm glad that my game of honesty worked.
You reclaimed faith in humanity for your boy.
Yeah, started from the bottom.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we
Thank
here.
y'all.
And Didi, I want to say your final four prediction was almost right. You were just off. You said Aaron instead of Shelby. So you would have been
man.
right.
Yeah, we were sleeping on you at the beginning, Shelby. We were sleeping
Shelby
on you in
was
the
in the
void.
void.
That's
She was in
fair.
the
We're sleeping
void,
on
That's
you.
fair.
because
That's
you,
fair.
I said you weren't talking like around that time. You weren't speaking up for yourself. Then that's when like a couple episodes later, that's when you started speaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it definitely took me a minute. I had to test the waters. Had to get
Yeah.
comfortable.
When y'all sent Alex back up to the game, I was like, no, Shelby. Send Shelby. No.
I remember that. I wanted it to be me too. I wanted it to
Yeah.
be me too.
That's when I
Take your
said she
time.
doesn't speak up for herself.
You played it cool. You took your time. You know, played it right.
It worked
stayed
out.
humble. I stayed humble.
Long run.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining me. Congrats to Shelby for winning the game. You know, if you ever want to play another game, Shelby, you just got to let me know. 'cause
We would
you're
love
a
to
hard
see
nut.
I
another
would.
game.
Maybe I'll switch it up. Maybe I'll try being mean this time. I don't know.
That's what I
Yeah.
tried to tell Didi too. I need you to just stab people in the back, Shelby, if you play again.
I want to see you in that role. Do it.
Survivor.
No.
If you can win while you're mean, then you're a real champion. Then you can do it all. You can do it all.
One both ways. The
Yo,
rain.
man.
Let's ignore Didi for a second. What's your moon sign, Shelby?
My moon sign is Aries. I'm a contradiction.
Okay,
Okay, now what
basically.
is a moon sign? Is that something new?
That is your emotional state. It's who you are when you're most comfortable.
See, I only know mine. Let me-
Aries are
let me find
chaotic. The Aries can be chaotic. I could say you
Mine.
being, but chaotic in
moon
a game.
sign. Let's see. What?
Yeah, Shelby wasn't afraid of the smoke. You know, she was ready to take it out if it came.
You just,
said-
I gotta be pushed enough.
She didn't have to push nobody in the face. Yeah. It was good.
Oh my god!
I know you was ready for it.
Face through a computer.
Oh, she was gonna do it. That's Texas talk.
Oh,
Oh, Lord.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna find out my moon sign.
Oh God.
Well, while Didi does that, I'll go ahead and end the podcast, and Didi can I'll stop recording and we can keep talking.
Great season.
Anyway,
Congrats.
thank you all for joining me for this podcast.
Yeah,
Thank
next
you.